Welcome to iPulse. Today is February 6, 2026. I'm Lilian Carreon.
And I'm Carly Hochberg. Revelations and redactions this week, more fallout over the Esptein files, the release of the names of victims stirring outrage.
Separately, questions grow about whether other parts of the Esptein files are too heavily redacted, effectively shielding names of individuals who may have aided Esptein. Lynn Smith reports.
The Justice Department under fire this week, facing criticism for over-redacting information about individuals who may have aided Jeffrey Esptein. In a 2014 email released in the files, a person writes to Esptein, quote, "Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty." But the identity of the individual who wrote that message is redacted. And in this image of Espstein's inner circle from the files, we see associates like convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell and Espstein's assistant Leslie Groff, but several others in the graphic are blocked out. The released files also showed numerous email exchanges that appear to describe the procurement of women. New Brazilian just arrived, sexy and cute 19-year-old. A 2013 email to Esptein reads from someone at a Paris modeling agency. That sender's name redacted. I found at least 3 very good young poor. A 2018 email to Esptein reads, "Meet this one, not the beauty queen, but we both likes her a lot." This sender's name also redacted. A DOJ official said in a statement to CNN, "Any fully redacted names are of victims. In many instances, as it has been well documented publicly, those who were originally victims became participants and co-conspirators. We did not redact any names of men, only female victims." Names of law enforcement officers were also among the redactions. Also included in the released Esptein files, a highly controversial draft indictment from the 2000s that would have charged Esptein along with 3 others. They were described as having been employed by Esptein and having conspired to persuade, induce, and entice individuals who had not attained the age of 18 years to engage in prostitution. Their names are redacted.
You have a Justice Department that's leadership cared more about protecting the men who committed these crimes than the survivors who were victims of the crime.
The law that forced the DOJ to release the Esptein files mandates the DOJ to make certain redactions, such as identifying information about victims and child pornography. Some individuals who helped connect Esptein with young women were also victims. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche acknowledging errors were made and that his department is working around the clock to correct failures to redact victims' information.
You're talking about pieces of paper that stack from the ground to 2 Eiffel Towers. And so the minute that a victim or their lawyer reached out to us since Friday, we immediately dealt with it and pulled it down, and we're continuing to do that. We knew that there would be mistakes.
Esptein survivors outraged.
Publishing images of victims while shielding predators, it's just a failure of complete justice. Why should anybody come forward? Because the justice system is not going to be the justice system.
I'm Delaney Smith for iPulse TV News.
As calls for transparency grow louder, reporter Guido Domenico sat down with former Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg to hear his perspective and take a closer look at the legal concerns.
How does something like this even happen?
I don't think it was intentional for the DOJ to release the names of victims in violation of the Esptein Files Transparency Act. I think it was that the priority for this administration has been to protect Donald Trump, and they have been releasing records in a haphazard fashion, but they want to protect the boss. And as such, names of others have been released or redacted in an inconsistent way. Their privacy has been invaded and they've been victimized enough. So it is obviously upsetting to us all that they're being victimized yet again.
And should someone be held accountable because of this?
One thing we've learned from the Trump administration is that there is little accountability for mistakes. And so I do not expect anyone to be held accountable.
The vaccine debate in America is making headlines yet again. This week, a GOP senator criticized Trump administration health officials for, quote, casting doubt on vaccines. All this as the trend to reduce or end vaccine mandate grows. Mitchell Bernstein sat down with a Lynn University vaccine expert for perspective.
When it comes to those who are potentially looking to bring a child into the world and are skeptical when it comes to if their children will be able to be safe, is there hope, or should they continue to be scared?
I don't say it's hope. There are facts about vaccination, and those facts are accessible to any person on the planet, and there are many experts in different countries that will be able to clarify any doubts. The vaccination recommendation of having children get 17 different vaccines has been there for decades. So there's no scientific reason, there's no public health reason to alter those recommendations.
You can find Mitchell's full in-depth interview on our website, iPulseNews.com.
The search for Nancy Guthrie goes on. Authorities say the 84-year-old mom of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie was taken from her Tucson, Arizona home against her will last weekend. Her children have made videotape pleas to her abductor, a $50,000 reward for information leading to her safe return or arrest is being offered. Meanwhile, police are still investigating whether a ransom note sent to the media demanding Bitcoin is authentic.
South Florida is home to a huge Haitian community. They are relieved after a federal judge this week blocked the Trump administration from ending temporary protected status, or TPS, for Haitians.
TPS historically has recognized ongoing threats that force people to flee their homeland. Guido Domenico reports.
Oh my gosh, that's what everybody says. It's a huge sigh of relief.
Legon Salvan is a deacon at the Haitian Christian Church in West Palm Beach. Many of his Haitian parishioners are under temporary protected status. Simply put, it allows them to stay in the U.S. because of fear for their lives if they go back to Haiti. If we didn't have TPS, how many people do you think we would not have here?
Oh my gosh. We have, I wouldn't say that this place will be empty, but at least we will lose between 100 and 150.
TPS, Temporary Protected Status, provides temporary lawful immigration status to migrants who cannot return to their war or disaster-torn countries. Roughly 350,000 Haitians live in the U.S. under this program. The Trump administration, however, has pushed for the termination of TPS, arguing that conditions in Haiti had improved. Legrand sharply disagrees.
The situation in Haiti right now is dire. You have a lot of gang members terrorizing the population. And while the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security said it's safe, but FAA didn't allow the American airlines to go to Haiti. So how can you tell me right here you said it's not possible, it's not safe, and then now you said, well, it's okay, it's safe, we can send them back home. It doesn't compute.
In response to the federal judge's block, Tricia McLaughlin, a spokeswoman for the Department of Homeland Security, said, "Temporary means temporary, and the final word will not be from an activist judge legislating from the bench."
It's not just like the Haitian coming here and sucking the blood of the American people, but they are not relying on welfare. They are hard-working people. They are here contributing $6 billion in the American economy, and they're paying $1.5 billion in taxes, whether federal, state, or local.
A sigh of relief for the Haitian community amid ongoing immigration tensions in the U.S. Guilherme de Domenico reporting for iPulse News.
As more people take to electric bikes, South Florida roads are seeing a new mix of traffic, with electric bikes and scooters sharing the road with cars and competing with pedestrians and traditional bikes on sidewalks. It's a growing issue in many communities. Reporter Ellie Nickel looks at what Boca Raton is doing to keep everyone safe.
E-bikes and scooters are zipping through sidewalks of Boca Raton and at Lynn University. But some pedestrians say that ride is getting too close for comfort.
I don't take it off of campus because of that fear. It is not really safe on the main roads.
Our biggest concern is safety.
Holly Sutton, chair member of Citizens and Pedestrian Bikeway Advisory Board, spoke about the safety concerns and the rules they are working on from the city.
A e-bike guidance recommendations with the city, and we're still awaiting recommendations to help regulate e-bikes within the city.
She told me what the biggest issue is.
Bike lanes. We don't have protected bike lanes or bike lanes necessarily. Some of the bike lanes that we do have are undesignated, and so they're not the legal width.
With the bike lane unreliable, electric vehicles must go elsewhere.
It seems that e-bikes and e-scooters are using the sidewalk and therefore harassing the pedestrians and the bicyclists because they're much faster. We need to build bike lanes within the city. I'm a pedestrian, I'm a cyclist, and I'm a driver. So what I see is just a disconnected network.
One of the first development changes for a safer network are signs like these.
I think those are really effective in stopping the traffic, and I would love to see those at every pedestrian crossing.
As e-bikes continues to gain speed, the push for safer streets is racing to keep up. I'm Ellie Nickel reporting for iPulse News.
Every year, Lynn University students give back to their community through the Citizenship Project. Today, students culminated their efforts with the annual Citizenship Celebration in Esptein Park, showcasing their projects, reflecting on their experiences, and highlighting the power of community engagement. Reporter Erna DeLise was there.
I'm here at Esptein Park, where students are celebrating more than just an end of a project. They are celebrating student engagement.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches can go a long way in showing that you care. The people behind the Lynn Citizenship Project certainly do.
We know that the unhoused people right now have been having a very hard time with the weather, and we decided to go into the shelters and make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for them.
Students also went off campus to share smiles with the elderly.
We have our Citizenship Project. We sang at a nursing home for elderly people. We sang songs from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s to give them nostalgia and a warm feeling of happiness.
The Citizenship Project has international reach as well. Dr. Carol Stack Brown led her students to Ecuador for 2 weeks.
In Quito, we worked on a project at a government daycare center where we helped revitalize the playground. Worked with the teachers to see what they really needed. They wanted a wall built between the playground and the garden they have.
Turning civic engagement into real-world impact. I'm Erna DeLise reporting for iPulse News.
Our next story takes a closer look at kindness. How it's not just something you're born with, it's something that can be learned. That belief is at the heart of the organization's effort, and the message is spreading in South Florida. Reporter Rebecca Kitay has our story.
Everybody is searching for kindness these days. Laura Reese wants to make sure all of us are doing our part to share it.
I am seeing such a difference. I'm seeing a difference in the schools, on the soccer fields, in homes. I watch children come into our programs and leave a very different human being.
Reese founded the nonprofit Kindness Matters. Her TED Talk audience in Boca Raton is energized by her empathy.
I completely think kindness is something that should be taught in schools because it's one of those life skills that not only does it develop as you get older, it also becomes more paramount as you get older.
Kindness connects us everywhere, or has the potential to do so. Its advocates say practice makes perfect.
So we know that the part of your brain that holds gratitude cannot also hold frustration and anger at the same time. So if you train yourself to access kindness, that part of your brain, it's less likely to access the negative emotion. Training your brain to look for kindness and hope and gratitude, you literally change your brain to become the person that you want to be.
The idea that kindness is a learned skill hits close to home.
Kindness means peace for your own heart, and I believe it's a reflection from the inside of myself to the inside of you. And so kindness is peace.
From classrooms to every walk of life, a message worth sharing. I'm Rebecca Kitay for iPulse News.
The Christina Lynn Library at Lynn University has been transformed into an immersive gallery featuring art, commemorating the milestone of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. I spoke with creatives from the College of Communications and Design at Lynn University, who brought one painting to life through an audiovisual project. As part of the 250th celebration of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the College of Communication and Design has helped transform the library. Dean Santalo talked me through the process.
Angelo, who is one of the people that's in charge of the Boca Raton Innovation Campus, was speaking to the Silvers. He gave me a call one day over the phone. We started talking, and he said, "I'd really like to look into the process of NFTing some of our paintings." And I said, "Oh, really? You have a lot of paintings?" He goes, "Yes. We have a collection of about 64 paintings that deal with the history of Fredericksburg for about 300 years. I was like, "Really?" I go, "We should probably meet sometime." I literally walked into this beautiful building and covered wall to wall 64 paintings, some of which you see behind me now. And so I reached out to one of our professors, Alex Duque. He recreated the entire painting.
When it started, they gave me a brochure of all the paintings from the Silvers collection. And they say, "Alex, let's try to see from there." So I made a pre-selection. And then from that pre-selection, we came a little bit back and forth until we settled down on Let Us Try, which is that painting. And then once I got that, then I got a scan or photo, a high-res photo of the actual painting. And once I had that, the idea was to make that painting come to life. That was the whole concept behind this project. I think it took 120 hours, give or take. First thing I needed to do, aside from research into what it is and how it came about, to find the physical position or try to find the physical position where the camera would be at. And then once you find that out, then I can begin to recreate on a one-to-one scale where each one of those characters was, where the camera is in relation to that, and then start sculpting and modeling all of those elements that are in the painting.
Professor Duque guided me through the animation process of this artwork.
So I go through this process, and then that's how I can get the models that are in 3D space have that visual texture, which is exactly as the painting. The idea is to maintain the originality of the painting. And then once that's done, then comes the animation process. So then I have to animate the characters and then figure out what are they doing. And that the research a lot of the times helps inform what are they doing? Are they waving, or are they working, or what are they, what's really happening on that moment?
After animation is complete, Duque adds in color to make it more realistic.
The colors, how do you do that? Is it on the same program? To have this accurate colors of the
that is Photoshop. So
it transfers.
Everything transfers. So the original transfers in. So this geometry, from a 2D standpoint, it looks like this.
But it's not just a visual experience. It's an audiovisual one as well.
To bring them in, I wanted to add some sound. So I did a lot of research on Civil War battles, especially the recreation. So there's recordings of the actual recreations using the original weapons. So you get the more the accurate sounds.
This is a work of art, truly.
Dean Santalo created physical aspects of the display, including windows peeking into historical Revolutionary War events.
I started talking about windows. I was thinking about Washington, what his room would look like looking over the area. But then I thought, you know what? Let's tell more of a story of the signing of the Declaration, and then also the signing of the surrender. So we looked online, made sure that there was the same type of panels, the same type of window panes, so they are historically accurate.
And now that transformation has been completed.
I wanted to transport people the minute they walk through that they're in a sacred place, that they're not at Lynn University, that they're not in Boca Raton.
I'm Lilian Carrion for iPulse News.
Iguanas have been falling from the trees here in Boca Raton. The cold snap that shocked South Florida this past week sent the iguanas who have made South Florida their home into a frozen state. Reporter Allison Wallace checked out the state of the invasive creatures around our campus.
Unusual wildlife scenes here at Lynn University earlier this week. As a cold front hit Boca Raton, the iguanas were in a state of shock.
That dude is faded.
Green iguanas can't regulate their body heat when temperature drops into the 40s. They become cold stunned. Without the warmth, these reptiles lose muscle control and sometimes fall out of the trees. Students were surprised to see this is all happening in the Sunshine State.
I came here last year, but it hasn't been this cold. This is like the first time it's been really... Actually, I think in November last year it was cold, but I didn't see the iguanas like this, so it's really surprising. I didn't even know it could happen.
It's kind of funny just to see them like laying around. It's kind of weird. Like, also it's not like super cold.
The situation is under control with Lynn's ground cleanup crew. They are picking up a surprising number of iguanas a day.
Today alone, with the weather, probably 25 to 30 iguanas.
Now that temperatures are climbing up, some iguanas are already moving again. I'm Allison Wallace reporting for iPulse News.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I'm Noah Barkley, and the weather this week, it's looking very good. It's looking warm again, as opposed to what we've had for the last 3 weeks, where it's been in the 40s at nighttime. There was one night where it even got to 33 degrees. It was very bizarre. The reason that happened is because you had an Arctic blast come down from Canada all the way down into Florida and this whole area because of the jet stream moving on down, and that forced cold air down into this entire region. It was very bizarre, but luckily it's all over, and we're going to get over into 77 degrees later in this week. So it's going to be a very, very good week coming up. So if this is your time to go outside, you're going to choose a good one because you do have very good weather coming in. As you'll see on the next image, the reason we have this is because we have normal temperatures now. The above normal temperatures are actually in the middle of the country, whereas we do have colder temperatures over out here in the west. But again, here and actually up in the northeast as well, the temperatures are going to go back to remaining very normal. It's going to be all right. We're not going to have any cold weather anymore for the foreseeable future, especially considering that this map is from the 11th to the 16th. So we do have a very good few weeks coming up. For the foreseeable future, we'll have to see if it's going to remain this way. Of course, we can only see so far along ahead, but we'll see. But hopefully it does remain warm for the sake of us all. As you'll see on the next image, we do have completely sunny weather all the way up until Thursday. Up until next Friday as well, it is going to be sunny. Of course, that is 8 days away, so it's not going to be on the 7th day, but I guess that makes it look even better. As we do have all sun, it's getting up into the mid-70s. It's going to get up to 77. The lows are going to be almost 60, so as opposed to having it be 35 degrees and almost near freezing, it's going to be very nice at nighttime. You will be able to walk around with a short sleeve shirt, finally. I'm Noah Barkley. Thank you very much.
From celebrating women in sports to the Super Bowl on Sunday and the opening day of the 2026 Winter Olympics, it's a packed week in sports. Here's our sports director, Swanson Gibson Jr. with the latest.
Welcome to the latest edition of iPulse Sports. This past Wednesday was National Girls and Women in Sports Day, a day that recognizes the work and impact of female athletes, coaches, and professionals alike. Earlier this week, I caught up with Kathy Krupa, Mindy Richmond, and Davinja Belbis to get their perspective on what it means to be a woman within sports.
I think it really just represents strength and resilience.
Girls and Women in Sports Day, a time to honor the efforts of females making waves in the sports industry. I recently caught up with a few women making their mark within Lynn University athletics.
It's just really so great to see that sports is really a big characteristic, and it kind of turns you into the person that you're going to become. It gives you really great characteristics and like determination.
The numbers over the years have grown for women in sport, not just as athletes, but coaches and administrators. And so it's great to be able to celebrate that growth and celebrate all of the wonderful things that occur in women's sports.
It's great to see that women's sports are on the rise, that people are starting to see and appreciate how hard these women work, and they do work equally as hard as the men. They are just as talented, and it's wonderful to see that women's sports are getting the recognition that I think they've always deserved.
In light of this occasion, Lynn Athletics conducted a ceremony at a recent women's basketball game. honoring our women athletes, coaches, and sports professionals. Overseeing the operations was Athletics Director Kathy Krupa. She and lacrosse coach Mindy Richmond discussed taking on leadership positions.
I'm so blessed to have this position and to get to work in sports. And, in our conference, there's only 4 female athletic directors, so 4 of 11. So I don't take that position lightly. I think it's really important that women get to see women in leadership positions.
It's definitely an empowering role to have here on campus and to be able to lead these young women who will be future leaders. It's definitely rewarding to, help coach the girls, to see them thrive on the field and in the classroom.
Sports also create avenues of success for women off the field.
Sports gives everybody this different skill set, and it really sets them apart. And I've had several CEOs and people in big companies tell us that they look to hire student athletes because of the skill sets that they build. They build confidence, they know dedication, they understand how to manage their time.
It's really awesome to see that a lot of women that were in sports do turn out to be CEOs, and I really hope that me and some of my other girl teammates do get to have that as well later on in life.
There's no denying the seismic influence that women have within the modern day sports industry.
We thank and celebrate all the amazing women who are involved with or make an impact for Lynn University athletics. And now we're just a few days away from Super Bowl 60 as we have the NFC champion, Seattle Seahawks, taking on the AFC champion, New England Patriots. It all goes down this Sunday at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. iPulse reporter Enzo Baboni recently caught up with ESPN West Palm sports anchor Theo Dorsey for predictions and insight on Sunday's matchup.
Darnold throws, caught for the 2 points. Eric Saubert.
Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks will face off against Drake May and the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60. It reignites one of the league's most compelling rivalries. I talked with Theo Dorsey, a sports anchor for ESPN 106.3. So before the season began, did you expect these two teams to meet in the Super Bowl?
When the playoffs began, my pick was Seahawks versus Texans. And then C.J. Stroud kind of threw up all over himself multiple times, and it cost the Texans a game against the Patriots. I think that would have been the finale had Stroud not gotten in his own way. At the beginning of the football season, though, nobody in this world in their right mind had this matchup at the end.
Looking at the matchup as a whole, who has the edge and why?
I would say the Seahawks do win it. I think that a guy to watch in this game that can kind of blow it open in the second half will be Ken Walker, who's a home run hitter at running back. He makes negative plays, but he also makes 20 to 40-yard runs here and there. When he touches the ball, he's explosive. I think that if he can get to the outside and get away from the strength of the Patriots defense, which is that interior rush, I think he can make a couple of plays that makes this a more comfortable win for the Seahawks. And another guy that I would key in on for Seattle is Nick Emanwari, the rookie nickel/safety that they just got out of the draft from South Carolina. He's lived up to every bit of what Coach McDonald would want him to be, and I think he can be a game changer in this game. The Seahawks have more ways to win than the Patriots, so I like Seattle actually finding a way to win, whereas the Patriots, they need Drake May to kind of put his cape on, and that's a lot to ask from a sophomore quarterback.
The excitement and tradition are taking the biggest stage in sports yet again. Enzo Baboni, iPulse News.
Thank you for the great insight, Enzo. From one major sporting event to the next, the 2026 Winter Olympic Games are officially underway in Milan Cortina. Some of the world's best athletes look to claim a gold medal for their respective country. The Winter Olympics occur throughout the month of February. And this has been the latest edition of iPulse Sports. If you want to see more, you can go to iPulseNews.com or follow us at Lynn iPulse. From the control room, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
History is coming to life in South Florida. A new PBS exhibit is open in Boynton Beach and is giving visitors an immersive look at the Titanic, one of history's most infamous tragedies. Reporter Lisette Yen takes us there.
Third-class passengers alike. All aboard. South Florida PBS is now taking passengers on the voyage of the Titanic. The exhibit starts with photographs, furniture, silverware, and a model of the ship.
As you walk through the exhibit and look at the different items, you're able to hear an audio track that's explaining further information.
Artifacts, they make the story come to life.
It is a combination of replicas and real artifacts from the ship itself.
I like the dining areas. They were so beautiful. The embroidery, the fabrics, the furniture itself, it was beautiful.
The exhibit includes the plans to build the ship and depicts it as it left port.
The crowd cheered and applauded, celebrating a future of infinite possibilities.
We wanted folks to understand the engineering that went behind the ship, why it was so shocking that it went down. We wanted to get into stories of life on the ship. And we also wanted to take a look at the things that did go wrong.
Messages to the ship were unable to get through.
Part of the exhibit focuses on the Marconi telegram and its novelty at that time. Many passengers were able to transfer messages to their families, almost like an early form of text message. However, many of those messages hid the other messages that were coming from other ships, warning the Titanic of ice incoming.
Hold up, Reg. Brace yourself. Despite a quick, hard starboard order from First Officer Murdoch, the collision is already...
The use of technology to depict actual events was breathtaking.
How important is it for technology and history to come together?
I think it's crucial for technology and history to come together. One of the reasons why the Titanic continues to be so fascinating is because as deep sea exploration continues and as the technology evolves, we continue to go back to this ship and ask, well, what actually happened?
For the audience, the experience is emotional.
I think it puts you right on the ship and in the water and in that time. I mean, it's kind of hard to really feel the fear that they felt and the disbelief after being told the ship was unsinkable. You know, icy cold water on a screen is quite a different thing than standing in it. So it was but it got as close as it could without getting in the water yourself.
South Florida PBS brings the Titanic's voyage to life, from artifacts to animation to their cutting-edge technology. Liseki reporting for iPulse News.
This has been iPulse Live for February 6, 2026. I'm Carly Hochberg.
And I'm Lilian Carrion. For more stories, follow our website, iPulseNews.com, and our Instagram and TikTok at Lynn iPulse for more content. Have a great weekend.